Imagine a massive, pristine 4K display just floating on the wall of a high-end commercial boardroom. No tangled mess of thick, heavy HDMI cords behind it. No bulky power bricks. Just a single cable, barely thicker than a shoelace, running the entire show. Welcome to this custom-tailored deep dive where we're going to figure out how that's actually possible for you.
Yeah, it really completely changes the architecture of a room when you realize, wait, I don't actually need to tether my displays or transmitters to local power outlets anymore.
Right, and that invisible architecture is exactly our mission today. We're unpacking a highly specific piece of AV hardware. It's the Hall Technologies HT-DSCV-70-RX Discovery 70-meter receiver.
Which at first glance is basically just a $385 metal box.
Exactly. But the goal today is to cut through all the tech specs to understand how this little box acts as the missing link for, clean, professional AV setups, basically curing cable clutter forever.
And the heavy lifting here is done by a standard called HDBaseT 2.0. So instead of running dedicated, expensive video cables across an entire building, this receiver takes uncompressed 4K video and pushes it up to 30 meters.
Wow, so 40 meters, it's like 131 feet?
Yeah, about that. And if you drop it down to 1080p, it goes up to 70 meters, or roughly 230 feet. And it does all of this using just a single standard Cat 5e, 6, or 7 Ethernet cable.
So instead of thinking about it like a highway where cars are haphazardly weaving around each other, it's more like a perfectly synchronized subway system, right?
Yeah.
You have different cars carrying your video, your audio, and power, and they're all coupled together on the exact same track.
That's a really great way to visualize it. And that power car is arguably the most crucial part of the equation here. This receiver actually incorporates a built-in PSE module.
Wait, PSE, that's power sourcing equipment.
Yeah, power sourcing equipment,
Yeah.
which is huge because it flips the traditional power dynamic on its head.
Oh, because normally you have to plug the screen into the wall, and then you also have to go and plug the source into the wall somewhere else.
Exactly. But here, the receiver injects power backwards down the Ethernet cable directly to the wall plate transmitter.
So you only need to plug the system into a wall outlet at one end.
Yes. It completely decouples your system design from the electrical grid in the room. If the architect didn't put a socket exactly where you want the podium, it just doesn't matter.
Because that single cable manages the heavy lifting so efficiently, it leaves room for the actual interactive elements. This box also features USB 2.0 pass-through with 2 high-current ports and bi-directional RS-232 serial communication. But okay, hold on.
Yeah.
But if to play devil's advocate on the RS-232 inclusion, we are talking about a $385 piece of modern 4K hardware, and it heavily features a serial port standard from the 1960s. Why are we using that?
I know, it definitely feels jarring to see it next to modern USB ports. But you have to consider the absolute cost of failure in a commercial environment.
Like remotely telling a TV to turn on in a huge lecture hall.
Exactly. If a touch panel sends a command to drop a projector screen, it has to work 100% of the time. RS-232 provides a dedicated, hardwired lane. The display can physically confirm back to the controller, yes, I received the command and I am on.
Right, because commercial environments want to avoid Wi-Fi for control systems due to dropped packets.
You simply do not get that deterministic, rock-solid reliability over a wireless network.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not about being cutting edge, it's about being bulletproof. And you pair that bulletproof control with the USB pass-through. So you can plug a keyboard, a mouse, or a streaming camera directly into this receiver at the conference table.
While the actual PC processing those inputs is locked safely away in a climate-controlled server closet over 100 feet away.
You get zero latency and full control.
Yeah, and the noisy, heat-generating hardware is completely removed from the user's environment.
Which brings us back to the ultimate payoff for you, the listener, and your own setups. Whether you're designing a minimalist home theater where the tech needs to just disappear, or outfitting a modern workspace, this is how the magic of distance AV actually works behind the drywall.
By condensing all that physical infrastructure down to a single network cable, we get to focus entirely on the experience in the room.
It really leaves you with an interesting thought to chew on. If a single thin Ethernet cable can reliably push pristine 4K video, complex control data, and enough physical wattage to power hardware across hundreds of feet, how long until we start pushing the limits of network cables to replace traditional high-voltage wall outlets entirely?